It's time.
Hey, what's up, guys? I am here live at Systems Training Center on their 24-hour roll-a-thon. We are here with Marcus Kowal.
Yes, sir.
Marcus, normally I'm supposed to give you a whole bunch of mess and make fun of you, but you're actually doing this for a good cause today. So tell us a little bit about what's going on here today and why you're rolling for 24 hours.
Actually today, now the 3rd of December, today marks 3 months since my son was killed by a drunk driver. And since then, we've started a non-profit called liamslife.org. My son was 15 months old. He was hit by a 72-year-old woman at 3:30 in the afternoon, who was drunk and on prescription pills. She was originally booked for a drunk DUI, obviously, a felony DUI plus felony hit and run, because she tried to take off. Luckily, some really good citizens blocked her in a few streets down. And, I love my son. I've done a lot in my life. I've accomplished a lot in my life, but nothing was bigger to me than being a father. And so I said, we got to do something. You can't. I wanted to turn into something positive. I didn't want my son to pass in vain. So we said, right, what are we gonna fight? Drunk driving. And it's a problem in this country. 0.08. This is a developed country. You're so far ahead in so many ways. Yet you have more. I'm from Sweden originally. We have zero tolerance. And then I've read some statistics making the statement that there's not going to be less deaths if you lower the drinking limit in this country from 0.08 to 0.04. Well, strange, but statistics show that we have 3 times less death in drunk driving related accidents per capita in Sweden than we do here in the US. 66% of the population will at some point be impacted by a drunk driver. It costs every citizen an average of $500 a year due to drunk driving. $500 per citizen of the United States of America. That's a lot of money. That's many, many millions. And there's no excuse these days. There's a lot of things in this country that I might not agree with, rules and regulations and laws, but there's no counter argument to this. There's a lot of other rules and regulations I don't agree with, but there's a counter argument. I have to respect that. There is no counter argument. What's the counter argument to having to get behind the wheel drunk? If you can go out and afford a drink, you can afford an Uber, you can afford a Lyft.
It's true. It's hard to explain this to people, but in the time that I've known you, which has been for a few years now, you were always somebody who, you didn't really drink, you didn't really do any of that sort of stuff, and I always found that very cool and admirable about you. And I think this has reinvigorated a new light in you, and seeing you be so positive about this has been so welcoming. And so I have to ask, though, because I was watching from the sidelines and I saw such an outpour from the community. Tell us just a little bit about that, because I know that has to feel so good to see normally these big lugs who beat the living crap out of each other every single day, including many of them your friends, coming together and many of them being so, not just emotional, but so supportive and so real about this for you.
I've gotten to know a lot of people in the martial art community, and this is what martial arts it's all about. It's being there for each other during hard times. But even myself, I was surprised and shocked to see how many people, especially from the martial art community, but just worldwide, and this became worldwide news, which I wish it hadn't. We still don't know why. There's people that die every single day. There's children that die every single day. Look at Syria today. And there's people that die in drunk driving every single day. Yeah, this became world news, and I think it's partially because he was so young, and I think partially because he was so loved. Parents always say their children are special, but it was something special about Liam. If you look at these guys, there's some killers on this mat, and to see them sitting next to him at the hospital, that was touching. And I think that's what we are going to make a change. We are going to make a difference. We're going to change the drinking laws, and that's the mission statement of our non-profit, is to lower the legal drinking limit, to work on prevention. Because again, the woman was 72 years old, 3:30 in the afternoon. That's an alcoholic. Even if we lower it to zero tolerance, which is the ultimate goal, it wouldn't make a difference because she wouldn't abide those rules anyways. So the ultimate way to make sure that other parents don't have to go through what we're going through is to to work with the automotive industry with legislation and so on, and the technology which already exists, AEB, automatic emergency braking. There's the technology to have the blood alcohol content measured. It's already there and can be implemented and put on the steering wheel. All the driver has to do is breathe out, and now what we have to do is make sure that we drive down costs so that it makes it feasible for the automotive industry, and make the legislation-wise mandatory for all new cars that are produced to have that in them.
So I think that's an incredible thing. I love that you've channeled yourself into doing this, and I love that by extension you've channeled into this. So right now, just if you guys are watching this and you don't understand what time it is, just look at the clock and tell me exactly what time we are here at your gym in the AM. This is AM. We're about to say the time. Are you ready?
Yes, it's 3:30 in the AM. We started at 6 p.m. We're gonna go to 6 p.m. tomorrow, so we're doing 24 hours of jiu-jitsu.
How did you come up with 24 hours? Like, at what point could you just said, like, you know what, 18 hours is pretty good? Like, I don't know, has anybody really tried this for 12? Let's go for 12.
I don't know, I actually don't know what it was I don't know how I came up with it. I was just sitting and I wanted to do something for my son. That's, I met a lot of parents at this point that, that lost kids, and a lot of times they're angry and they're bitter, and I don't want to go down that road, It's going to take time. It's always going to hurt. It's always going to be there. But I want to make sure that I turn this into something positive and honor his name for the rest of my life, and that's what I'm going to do. So I said, what can I do? Every day I just want to do. I've written a book. I've written 85,000 words. It's now going to be edited and, hopefully published. And
that's hard because, writing, not a strong suit.
I wrote and a lot. Yeah. And so, all I want to do is turn it into something positive, and I think the martial art community has, such a support. That's why I wanted to do something with it. We started a social media campaign as well, where we throw 100 kicks for 7 days straight. Hashtag remember Liam and hashtag don't drink and drive. Also, we donate to Liam's organs. I can't think of anything harder a parent have to do than to, one, accept that your child is brain dead, and then having to go through the list of having to donate your child's organs and what you're okay to donate and so on. And but it was an easy decision to make, because he was a very sweet child that loved sharing anything and everything that was his, and I know that if he would have grown up, that's what he would want it to happen. And we didn't know at the time how many parents out there are desperate to have their need of organs. And I'm looking back at it, I'm happy that I did it, but at the time it was difficult because I posted on Facebook, because if you know someone that's on that list, then they can, and if there's a blood match and so on, you can donate to them. So I was like, should I do this? And I posted on Facebook. It felt cheap in a way, but at the same time I figured, that's how I'm gonna find out.
You wanted to get a message out there, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like a lot of times, social media can feel, it's not. I'm private when it comes. I post a lot of crap on Facebook, but at the same time, I'm pretty private, and I'm glad now that I did it. By the time, I had literally hundreds and hundreds of people from around the world sending pictures of the children. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're not on the list. You're not in the country. I'm sorry.
And this is literally just hours after what happened to you and getting overwhelmed with this. I saw that post go up, and I already felt for you, and knowing that you had to live through other people's pain as well, I knew that was tough. But to ultimately make that decision to do that, I know helps people, and I was so happy to see that you guys had done that and were to continue doing that. And one nice thing that I'm seeing here today is, and I don't know if you know this, Marcus, he's okay at grappling. Like, he's not the best, but he's not like the worst, And the nice part about this is that you've been invigorated this whole night. You've been a man possessed. I just had the chance to roll with you a few minutes ago, and he's like, listen, Raph, if you don't submit me now, it's never happening for you. And I got to tell you, still on the weaker side, tough role to work with. I don't know where you're channeling it from, but you're possessing a very focused energy that's going through here. So right now you're trying to do 100 rolls, right?
100 rolls.
So let me get this straight. And for the record, you cannot step off the mat, right?
No, because
So even if I were to just like, if I'm just saying, because I can step off
step
and
off
on,
the mat.
but you can't, right?
So this is being recorded with the Guinness Book of Records. I'm allowed to take 5-minute breaks every hour.
Okay.
And then I can come off and go use the restroom. I can get something to eat if I want. And if I don't use it for an hour, it adds up. I've taken a total of 27-minute breaks so far. We're almost 10 hours into it. That's why I stay on the mat, because if I'm going to step off, it's going to be for a purpose. And it's tough, but it's going to get tougher. Yeah. And I'm going to do 100 rounds of rolling, 105-minute rounds.
And where are you at right now?
I'm at 41 and 42.
Okay.
So I'm going to make it. I was a little bit behind in the beginning with so many people and speaking to them and, saying hello. But I'm definitely feeling it, in midst of rolls. I start cramping up the legs, and I have an elbow that I need surgery on. But
don't tell them that. They're going to know where to attack you now.
Yeah, I have to say, it's a great group of people, and that was the purpose of this. People build up invisible walls as is, whether it be race, religion, culture, and even in the martial art world, we don't train with those guys, we don't train with that gym. And it's stupid, because that's exactly what martial art is not about. And I'm so happy to see, we have Henna and Huron Gracie here, Mac Danzig. We had Eddie Bravo was going to be here, but he had to be in Mexico City, obviously, for EBI. And Chad George couldn't make it today because he's competing tomorrow where you're going. And then we just have people from around. A guy from San Diego drove up here. Every gym out there, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu and so on. And just people are representing and having a good time together. It's 3:30 in the morning. It was packed before. We had both sides. And now we're here.
Well, now we're in the AM morning. We're getting people without some coffee. I'm gonna go kick a few people after we're doing this interview to try and coerce them to try and attack me. It's for charity, guys. That's what we're doing here. Marcus, before we get on out of here, tell us a little bit about what people can do if they want to find out more about Liam's organization.
So it's liamslife.org.
Did you have a flyer ready?
Yeah, but I actually realized I don't need the flyer because it's about over. But we're going to be here till 6 p.m. tomorrow. If you're in LA and you're watching this, come on out. We're going to be here till 6 p.m. and it's going to be a lot of people that are coming in the morning, especially around 10 a.m. Kids as well. We've had kids on the mat already. There's going to be more kids coming back. People that we've had, some of the best in the world. So people that have never done jiu-jitsu ever that have been on the mat today. And tomorrow morning we're going to have a bouncy castle for the adults. The kids.
Wait,
and then we're going to have face painting for the adults. And we're going to have a few food and drink. We've got a taco truck coming. Come on out for the event.
Did you call it a taco?
Taco.
Say taco.
Taco.
It's close.
Taco.
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 It's okay. The Swedish in you is still strong.
I would say that's the English. So, yeah, that's what liamslife.org. Follow us on Instagram. Remember Liam's Life. And we're on Twitter as well, but I don't remember what the Twitter is right now. And the most important thing is just help us raise awareness. We have a petition that we created, Liam's Law, to lower the legal drinking limit. We need 100,000 signatures. We're at 2,000, only 98,000 to go. I can't do this on my own. You can't do this on your own. The only ones that can do this is all of us together. And there's no need there shouldn't be such a term as legally drunk, driving legally drunk, which there is right now. There's no need for it. If you can afford going to a bar, you can afford an Uber or a Lyft home. And it's not even, just don't bring your car. If you're going to go out drinking, don't bring your car. Think before you drink. It's as simple as that, And on top of that, the social media event that we started with Liam's Life, which is the 100 kicks a day for 7 days straight, challenge 3 people a day. If you haven't been nominated, you can nominate yourself and just get going. And a lot of people have reached out and said, hey, what can I do for you? This is what you can do for you. I don't care if you're a fighter. I don't care if you've never thrown a kick in your life. We've had 50-year-old women, grandmothers doing this. All you have to do is lift your leg 50 times. It's not about what it looks like. It's just about doing it. And you want to be part of this, sign the petition. Follow us on Instagram so you know when other events are coming up. Next week, for example, we're doing a Spartan race. I'm going to make a difference. It might become a lifetime, goal, but we're going to do it.
Absolutely. Marcus, I can't tell you enough, man. The community's behind you. Everybody's behind you. You're a good guy, and I don't know how many people of you know this, but Marcus has always been so welcoming with his gym, so open, so happy, so great, and it's a true testament to not just you, but your son, your wife, that so many people have come through, and know that every time it gets tough or difficult, that you always have that, and you've got so many great people who come out and support you. So it's not just us, it's not just who's watching this. There's so many more people who have been touched by your story, and as one of your personal friends who's known you for a good while, I'm glad you're making something good out of it. And anytime you need me, man, you let me know.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man.
Come here. Keep it locked here at verbaltapcast.com, and be sure to support liamslife.org.